Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here. And let's wake up the football gods. Good morning, guys. It is hump day, and I hope everybody is ready to go on the downhill side of the week. I hope you had your Taco Tuesday yesterday. And today, the Dallas Cowboys won't be on the field because of the situation that we're in with the coronavirus and things. They can't practice more than 3 days consistently, so that way their bodies have time to heal. So today's an off day. Then starting tomorrow, they'll actually start working on game plans, getting ready for the Rams. Guys, can you believe it? We are 2 weeks tomorrow away from the beginning of the season. We are 18 days, 11 hours, 13 minutes, and 50 seconds away from kickoff for the Cowboys. It's unbelievable that we are literally this close. So, Jerry Jones is ecstatic because he's working out how many people, how many fans will be in the stands for the Dallas Cowboys. I may get a lot of flack here when I say this, but I wonder, is it really worth it? I'm sitting here thinking, here it is, the Rams' new stadium, brand new. They're itching to show this thing off. They're not having fans there. I think about the Washington football team. They're not having fans there. Kansas City, I think, is going to have, is it 12,000? I'm just thinking hypothetically. Let's say you have 25,000 fans and they each spend $500, right? That comes out to about $12.5 million. You multiply that by 8 games. It's only $100 million. I know that I'm saying it's only $100 million, but it's $100 million. The question is, A, how much is it going to take you to make that $100 million? Because you're still opening up the whole stadium and the concessions and things. And as big as AT&T Stadium is, you can't just put everybody on one side so we're only going to open up half of the restaurants and stuff. If you're socially distancing, then you're kind of using the whole area. And I don't know if it's cost prohibitive to have all the staff there and people there, the food. I'm just saying. And the other part of the equation is, hypothetically, let's say that having too many fans there ends up getting the team sick. And we're talking about an industry that makes on average about $10+ billion a year. So is $100 million worth risking 10+ billion? I don't know. I'm just putting that out there. I'm just kind of on the side of saying having a football season is more important than having a football season and risking having fans there. That's my own personal opinion. I think you'll do far better if you can have 16 safe games on television than if we end up having 4 or 5 where we got fans. Just food for thought. So, as we've been knee deep through training camp, one of the things that you have to look at that makes an impact on your season, and you must have this impact, or it's very difficult for your team to improve. And that is the way I look at a draft. The way I look at a draft is your first round pick needs to be an impact player day one. Second player should be a starter. Third, you need to get some depth. And fourth, a special teams player. If you can get that and more, then it was a successful draft. And you look at 2016, we definitely got an impact player in Zeke Elliott. We definitely got another starter in Dak Prescott. We definitely got Malik Collins, who was a starter slash definitely depth. We got Anthony Brown, who ended up being a starter. And you could see that youth infused the team and helped carry them through to that 13-3 season. 2017, we didn't have that impact. We didn't have anybody who wowed you. Woozy was hurt. Xavier Woods wasn't really a starter. Um, the kick returner that went to the Raiders and then to to Pittsburgh. Yeah, he had a big fumble that killed the game. You did not get that depth, that punch, that step up in that draft, and you saw that season wasn't quite as good as it was last year. We really got no impact. Tristan Hill was a non-starter. Was excuse me, was he's not even a conversation starter from last year. Tony Pollard played good in spots, but he wasn't that starter. He definitely wasn't an impact player. He did not do it. That whole draft, we've got some players. Tristan Hill sounds like he's getting it. He's getting an opportunity. He's learning from people in front of him. Tony Pollard, I think, will definitely get a little bit more playing time in this new offense with Mike McCarthy, which is great. But we need punch from get-go from that rookie staff. And right now, as we look at our preseason, at least, as much as we've been able to, two guys right now are really standing out that have the potential to be those 1 and 2 players, and that's CeeDee Lamb. Without a doubt, CeeDee is going to be starting, and he should be an impact player. The thing that's standing out to me is his leaping ability and his hands. He seems to have like glue on his hands when it comes to catching the football. He's fast as hell, and he may end up doing some special teams as well. So you're looking at a dual threat on my list of getting a special team standout and an impact player just from CeeDee Lamb. And if he is all of that, that's going to make that offense so much better. Our offense is literally going to be death by 1,000 cuts, which to me is the ultimate. Any one of the guys, from Amari Cooper to CeeDee Lamb to Michael Gallup to Zeke Elliott, can beat you. You can't cover all of that stuff. You usually see a team with one great wide receiver, and you say, okay, we got our shutdown corner. We're going to try and shut him down. If you've got a great shutdown corner, potentially, who's the guy you want to put him on? And that's the impact of having that rookie. But wait, there's more. Diggs is definitely looking to be a starter. Definitely has skills. His whole thing and mentality is, I want the football. I want takeaways. You can get a guy who can cover great, which is, you want a guy that can cover great. Don't get me wrong. But you also need that football. And something that truly has been missing from this team is the ability to get takeaways. We just do not get them. And that hampers us. You can look at a New England whose offense last year was putrid. They still made the playoffs because they only gave up 14.4 points a game. And they took the ball away 36 times, as opposed to the Cowboys having, I think, 17 or 18. They had twice the opportunities on takeaways than the Cowboys. And so Diggs is another guy. You've been basically seeing these two guys going at it in camp. These two guys have been showing up and showing off. And as you look at it, it's beyond that. So then the next thing I say is, of course, you need depth. Well, Gilmore, who will probably play the 3 technique, he may sometimes slip down and play the 1 technique as well, is beginning to come along really well from what we're hearing. And if that's the case, that criteria of helping your team from the draft has already been filled. Anything else that we get in there is gravy. And if they do, in fact, show up the way they have been thus far in camp, man, this team is truly loaded. Now, of course, expectations are the building blocks of resentment. When you're expecting a team to do really, really well, when you have expectations that are up here, if you don't reach them, then you deem the season a disaster. But in all reality, you have had an off season that has had no OTAs, and now you have a whole new coaching staff that is just getting to know our players over the course of the last 3 weeks. And that's a difficult thing to change everything without having time to change it. But you've got a lot of guys who have been there, done that, and we'll see what we're going to see. The Vegas over and under, I think, is 9.5 games. I think it's going to be over that. I mean, that's just the way I am. I think it's going to be an 11-5 season, but we'll have to wait and see if they can play all 16 games and how it works out. So, that being said, it's time for me to get my hind parts to work. And unfortunately, I'm working out in the country where I don't have it takes hours, literally hours, for something to upload from there. So I'm going to be in a blank spot here for a bit. I don't have as much as I have to do today. We're setting the main beams across. We got 3 sets of them to put in. We get those level and cemented, then we can kind of get out of there. So it probably won't be too long of a day. So hopefully early this afternoon, I'll be back. And of course, I've got work to do because we only got 2 weeks left to get this place together for the season. I'm Mark Holmes, and as always, I want to thank you guys for being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.